Hey, and welcome back to another episode here at Brilliancy. Um, Thank you for coming back and viewing another video. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe to the Brilliancy channel and share it on your Facebook wall, on your Twitter feed, and your Instagram. I greatly appreciate it. Right now, I'm filming from an undisclosed location in my house. You'll never know where. Today's video is about vulnerability. And this topic was submitted by Genesis Martinez. She wanted me to talk about, in my opinion, how to be vulnerable in a relationship. I remember she stated that seems to be something that people nowadays struggle with. So, as always, these are just my suggestions. These are just my ways of how to be vulnerable in a relationship. And the beauty about this is that this doesn't just apply to like boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. This applies to just relationships in general. Of course, you should not be what I would consider vulnerable in every relationship that you have, but I do think vulnerability is very important. So before we start, let's define what vulnerability means and being vulnerable. This is dictionary.com's definition. And the definition that it has for vulnerable, it says that it's an adjective and it says capable of or susceptible to being wounded or hurt. Let's do that again. Capable of or susceptible to being wounded or hurt. So what it means to me is just being able to be open. That's what it means to me. First, I'll start off at the boyfriend-girlfriend level, husband-wife, fiance level, and all that kind of stuff. If you cannot be vulnerable with them, in my opinion, there's an issue. Now, the reason for that issue is something that only you can really identify, you can really target in on, because a lot of times what I found when it comes to people who are incapable of being vulnerable in a relationship, they have a reason. I don't really feel like anybody ever just one day meets somebody that they're really interested in and is unable to be vulnerable with them. You know, I feel like there's always something holding you back. Now, that I don't know if that's to say that anybody can be 100% vulnerable. Well, yeah, you can. I take that back. You can be 100% vulnerable, but I wouldn't say it's natural to be that way when you first meet somebody. I definitely think it's something that you have to work your way up to. And in my opinion, the reason why it's important is because this is the thing. This is going to be kind of confusing. For me, when I was dating and when I was out, getting to know girls and, trying to be with them and date them and all that kind of stuff, I was dating with a purpose. I've been raised to be around nothing but marriage, so that's something that I've always aspired to. So that's something that I always wanted, so I always dated with a purpose. I said all that to say I was never dating somebody just to date them. So I think if you start there, that'll be a good place to start just in general, not even completely related to being vulnerable. Just date with a purpose. That's a whole nother video in itself. But if you're meeting somebody and you're dating them and you're getting to know them and you have the feeling inside that you want to move forward with them, that you want to build something with them, at some point or another, you have to feel comfortable enough with them to be open. You can't be afraid to be hurt in relationships, because to be honest with you, people are gonna hurt you intentionally and unintentionally. Most of the time, it's usually unintentional when somebody hurts you. They're never seeking out to be malicious, or to tear you down or anything like that. But at the same time, I know it's very, 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 very hard to let down your wall after you've been hurt. I've dated plenty of girls who just did not open up at all with me just because of the bull crap that they had been through in the past. And for me, it felt like, dang, I'm one of the good guys I am one of the good guys. It ain't just my opinion, that's a fact. I'm one of the good guys, and you're still unable to be vulnerable with me and you still have this wall up. But I know that it's because you were hurt, so I kind of understand. But I still think regardless, it's really important that you try to be as vulnerable and as open with the person that you can, because in my opinion, when you're in a relationship, the relationship is between you and that other person. And so if I'm in a relationship with you and we have this connection, I'm supposed to be able to come to you about anything. You're supposed to be able to come to me about anything. I should be able to talk to you about anything that's going on in my day. Any feeling that I have, good, bad, or ugly, I should be able to talk to you about. That's how open and vulnerable I should be able to be with you. I should be able to lay my head on your chest and just cry my eyes out as a man and cry my eyes out about the rough day that I've had, how pissed I am, how angry I am, how sad I am. You know, no matter what the emotion is, I should be able to be that vulnerable and to see you at what some would consider my lowest point or your lowest point. You should be able to why did I say that twice? You should be able to show that kind of emotion, express that kind of emotion, and just be open and honest. The one thing that I think I said in the other video that always was my requirement when it came to relationships was you had to be consistent and you had to be honest. Honesty is so important. I kind of feel like being vulnerable and honest kind of goes hand in hand. Just because if you're not being open to kind of let the other person know what's going on or let the other person know how you're feeling, you could actually be holding back on some things that other person needs to know. Because I kind of feel like it's really important for the other person that you're dating to know what you've been through. You know, now you don't want to lay it all out there on the first date, but if you're in a serious relationship or you know that it's moving that way, or you feel like you want to take it that far, you need to be able to tell them the things that you've been through. Because, you know, like I said, they could be unintentionally doing the exact same thing somebody in your past is doing, but they don't know that that's what they're doing because you never were able to be. I feel like my words are just all off tonight. They would never have known that because you never said anything. To me, vulnerability goes hand in hand with communication as well. I think with communication, honesty, vulnerability, I think it all goes together. And my arms are really tired from holding the camera like this. This is not comfortable at all. Y'all will never see me on this yellow wall ever again because this hurts. But vulnerability goes hand in hand with communication, in my opinion. So that's what it's all, that really is what everything comes. Dad, this hurts. Maybe it's because I'm leaning. Jeez, that crap hurts. Ugh. Dang. Sorry. Communication is huge. And like I said, it goes hand in hand with vulnerability. I mean, I don't really think this video has to be that deep. It's just all about not being afraid to be hurt. If you can just understand that no matter what you do, no matter how guarded you stay, no matter how many walls you have up, you can still be hurt in a month, in a year, in a decade. I think being vulnerable would be a little bit easier. Because that's the thing, you're going to always be hurt. You're going to always be let down. So trying to hold a wall up, hold a wall up. It's time for me to go to sleep. Hold a wall up to keep yourself from being hurt is not going to really help you for the most part. Now, it doesn't mean that you meet somebody on a Friday and you tell them all your business on a Saturday. No, you kind of have to gauge who to be vulnerable with. And I don't think vulnerability is something that you should be the exact same way with everybody. There should be a level of vulnerability that you should be with your friends, with your family, and with your special person, whomever that might be. I don't know. I think it's very important. Like I said, communication, honesty, all that is important for a successful relationship. How long have I been recording? Oh yeah, this video is longer than what I want it to be, and I'm not editing this. I hope I answered that question well. I hope I didn't just wait 8 minutes of your life. If I did, sorry. At least you spent it with me. Alright, please leave other comments for suggestions of videos you'd like for me to make. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. And I'll talk to y'all later. I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Peace.